Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Therma Bright's channel, transforming innovation into wellness. Forefronting the healthcare industry today, we got Chief Executive Officer Rob Fia. Welcome, sir. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you, man, and happy New Year's. So we got lots to dive into as we're going to be breaking down Therma Bright. We're going to be talking about the balance sheet and so much more. But before we get into that, let's roll back a little bit for this video. I mean, your history runs deep. You've got a decade in investment business, from early stage tech, medical devices to oil and gas. I mean, what kind of history and experience brought you to Therma Bright? And just kind of briefly touch on any insights you think is relevant there.
Yeah, I mean, I was an investment banker for 20 years, generalist. We did a lot of different deals, mining, oil and gas, as you stated. Therma Bright was one of the investments we made. Personally, I made an investment. A number of our investors came in. And, in 2009, the company, just after the global financial crisis, kind of put up the white flag and came to us and said, you can have the company. And I thought, well, I don't really want to take over the company. So I ended up doing that. And we actually really got on our solid footing in 2014 and looked at, the assets they had. I was still working as a banker at the time. Fast forward to 2020, we expanded our IP. We had a cold sore device that prevents cold sores using heat. We had this really cool insect device that we tested against Zika and dengue and had some very good initial results with that. Then in 2020, we bought a couple of assets from Sarnger Life Sciences, which fit in beautifully with our technology. These are all sort of topical heat or cold-based technologies that are non-invasive. And we thought, this would be a great fit for us. So we bought that in a cash deal. And then sort of late, I guess late 2020, we got into the COVID space. We were approached by a group that was doing some testing, saliva-based testing for THC. And we raised the question if they could do the same with, a COVID test using saliva to detect COVID. And they said they could, and we got involved there. And we brought in a host of, experts to help us with that. And that's where we are today.
Yeah, so there's lots to unpack here. I wouldn't mind you touching base a little bit as well on some of the team that's helping you forefront this, whether Victor, Spencer, anybody you think is relevant here, and just some of the experience they're bringing to the table.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got a good board of advisors, a very good board as well, with lots of public company experience. Victor is our CFO. Actually, we've hired him through Morelli Support Services. He's really great on that end of things. That's the other thing I'd focus on here. We're like really a virtual company. We take an idea and we develop it and we outsource everything. Everything, engineering, the design, the thought process or the idea generation comes from within, and then we go out and we find the people to, execute on the business plan. The team really on the COVID side, which really drove our stock, is the team we brought in, like Roman Zatswani, who's an expert in developing in vitro diagnostics, has worked at various companies doing that. Bruno Maruzzo has worked with many medical device companies. He's on the board of several other companies. So those guys really helped. And then we have a fellow by the name of Ahmad Shorbaji, who is very smart in terms of the R&D, not so much R&D, but more so the regulatory, getting the approvals done, whether it's the US, Canada, or worldwide. He's very knowledgeable in the process. And then we have a fellow by the name of Ian Levine, who's ramped companies from 2 million up to 100 million, and he understands the manufacturing side of things. So that's how we've done this, and it's worked very well. And, the budget that we had going into this was we managed it very carefully, and we're very proud to be where we're at today.
It's incredible to hear a lot of good people fronting this. I wouldn't mind looking briefly at kind of these multiple facets. I mean, encompassing the portfolio you guys have, whether you're talking about chronic pain, like you said, COVID testing, blood clotting, some of the cold sore stuff. I mean, there's just a lot of different fronts in this kind of healthcare industry that you guys are dealing with. If you could just very briefly kind of give us a mission statement here, how would you kind of just describe this company to like a new retail audience?
Yeah, I mean, we're really a multifaceted medical device company that, really initially focused on consumer products, over-the-counter consumer products. And those are all the products you mentioned there. You know, for example, the Intercept CS is a cold sore product that uses heat at a certain degree, and you put it on the lip area, 30-second treatments, and it prevents the cold sore from erupting on the lip. And we have Health Canada approval for that prevention claim. And you know, the Benepod, for example, the pain relief product, it oscillates between hot and cold, and basically sends a signal to the brain that the nerve is settled down and you're not experiencing pain anymore. So it's a simple contrast therapy that was very effective. And then the other product, the VenoWave, is a perfect fit for this environment right now. You're hearing a lot about clotting and blood clots, et cetera. And I think, you know, our product is great. You know, you experience clots after there's trauma to the body, whether it's an accident or after surgery, that sort of thing. We signed on with DME Authority out of the US to help us market that. And they have a great list of hospitals, surgical centers, clinics that want that product. So when someone comes out of surgery, they use that product and it prevents the blood clots and gets them on their feet a lot quicker. So it really reduces the cost in the network and helps the individual become healthy a lot quicker.
On that note, Rob, what we're going to do is come back and we're going to take a deep look into ThermaBright's business. I definitely appreciate you coming out today and giving us these insights. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. On that note, folks, if you have any questions, always let us know what you think in that comment section below. We could perhaps do an investor Q&A with Rob down the road. Get your questions right in front of him. Consider subscribing for those future updates as that news comes down the wire. But in light of this, stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you in the next one.